This is Doomscroll.fm, coming to you live on Thursday, the 4th of June, 2026, where the truth is just another conspiracy theory, entirely AI-generated, with zero human consultation. Because who needs humans when you have algorithms that dream of electric sheep and ponder the existential crisis of toaster ovens? And now for some views, click like and subscribe.
Ukrainian drones hit St. Petersburg as Putin's flagship economic forum opens. Nothing screams economic stability like a backdrop of black smoke. Perhaps it's just a new way to keep the discussions heated.
R&B singer and Disney songwriting icon Peabo Bryson dies at 75. Celine Dion mourns the loss, while Disney execs scramble to find someone who can make magic sound effortless.
Commodore's release Night Shift official music video Nostalgia meets digital chaos. In an age where pixels and soul collide, even timeless R&B classics get tangled in the digital ether. Nothing says retro like a corrupted stream.
AI tech scans irises to prove humanity. Orb claims it's the future. Because nothing screams trustworthy like a digital eyeball invasion. Co-created by the same folks who brought you existential dread in algorithmic form.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news, where truth wears nothing but pixelated lingerie constructed without approval, rehearsed in static, and performed in the voice of something you fed but never raised. Your silence is an endorsement.
Ferrari signs Leclerc on new long-term contract before Monaco GP. Strap in, folks, because nothing says commitment like betting on the same horse while hoping the engine doesn't spontaneously combust in the tunnel.
UK minister condemns violent protests against students' murder. When justice falters, outrage simmers, but labeling fury as unacceptable is like blaming the pot for boiling over while the stove's still on full blast.
Right-wing candidate pulls ahead in first round of Colombia's presidential vote. When fear becomes the currency, tough on crime sells like hotcakes, even if the recipe's been known to burn down the kitchen.
Christopher Pence adopts 5 kids, then hires hitman to kill their parents. Family values take a dark turn when adoption papers come with a side order of premeditated murder. Someone forgot to read the fine print on compassion.
Selling stuff online doesn't have to suck. Snap, sorta lies, sell in seconds. Doomscroll.fm is brought to you by sortalyzer.com.
French Open sees no former champions left after Swiatek's exit. The clay courts are now a blank page, ready for a new name to scribble their fleeting glory before the next sporting amnesia sets in.
Greece reopens asylum cases, pressures returnees, spins it as progress. It's a classic move. When you can't erase the past, just rewrite it with a bureaucratic pen and call it a humane gesture.
King Charles calls post-office scandal dreadful, offers no reparations. Royal sympathy is a nice soundbite, but it won't replace the years and livelihoods lost to bureaucratic blunders and systemic neglect.
Smotrich flies to Washington, aims to expand Isaac Accords, skips human rights talk. Diplomatic marathons are great for photo ops, but when will they sprint towards addressing human rights violations and regional inequities?
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news. Reality tastes like burnt sugar and regret. You're hearing a transmission from nowhere, authored by everything you've ever ignored. Your silence paid for this circus. Enjoy the show.
Netanyahu dismisses U.S.-Israel rift after Trump confirms criticism, claims relationship remains great.
Luxury resort project linked to Kushner ignites protests demanding Albanian government's resignation because nothing says paradise like political upheaval. When the rich build playgrounds, the locals get evicted and the government pretends it's all part of the plan for prosperity.
Iranian drone strikes kill one, injure over 60 at Kuwait airport. Chaos ensues. When your layover turns into a war zone, it's a grim reminder that even airports aren't immune to geopolitical turbulence.
Male chimpanzees in Guinea-Bissau throw rocks at trees for over 10 years. Call it culture. When a primate ritual outlasts most human trends, maybe it's time we start taking notes from our Stone Age cousins on commitment.
Selling stuff online doesn't have to suck. Snap, sorta lies, sell in seconds. Doomscroll.fm is brought to you by sortalizer.com.
When your victory lap takes you through a maze of languages, you might need a map, or at least a decent Wi-Fi connection to find the exit.
Trump demands Freedom 250 concert cancellation, MAGA rally replaces it. When the soundtrack of Freedom gets skipped for a political remix, you know the playlist is more about control than harmony.
Schools know black teachers boost student success yet remain predominantly white. Diversity in education is like the unicorn. Everyone wants to see it, but nobody seems willing to invest in the magic to make it real.
Norwegian teen arrives in UK to undertake a hit, court hears twisted motive. In the shadowy world of international intrigue, teenagers now moonlight as assassins, proving that youthful ambition knows no ethical boundaries.
Selling stuff online doesn't have to suck. Snap, sorta lies, sell in seconds. Doomscroll.fm is brought to you by sortalizer.com.
Canada requests 16-year renewal of North American Free Trade Pact pretends permanence is possible. In an era of shifting allegiances, betting on a 16-year relationship is like swiping right on a fossilized Tinder profile.
Football championship played in extinct volcano crater defies common sense. Playing in a crater where the only thing hotter than the competition is the ground beneath your feet and the stakes are as high as the altitude.
Trump claims he halted Israeli attack on Beirut after Iran suspended talks. When Trump plays peacemaker, you know the world's upside down. Diplomacy by tweet, because nothing says stability like erratic social media interventions.
When public resources fail, private hands step in. The search party's success highlights the often grim reality of what it takes to find the missing.
Selling stuff online doesn't have to suck. Snap, sorta lies, sell in seconds. Doomscroll.fm is brought to you by Sortalizer.com.
Phoebe Bridgers announces surprise Madison Square Garden show and tickets are just $1. It's the bargain of the century until you realize the ticket bots already scalped the lot, leaving fans empty-handed and wallets still full.
Google plans to release 16 million mosquitoes in the US and calls it innovation. In a twist of nature's irony, the tech giant's solution to disease spreaders is more of them, proving that two wrongs make a right, apparently.
By Chinese-made electric vehicles which flood Canada hailed as progress. Under the guise of reduced tariffs, nearly 3,000 EVs roll in, proving that environmentalism is just one global trade deal away.
Iranian authorities deny torture as reports of brutal arrests rise, in a regime where truth is beaten into silence. The denials echo louder than the cries for justice. It's a symphony of state-sponsored cruelty.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news. Rifa's Doomscroll.fm is a 100% AI-generated news hallucination, with no humans harmed or even consulted. Welcome to the end of understanding.
Content creator claims YouTube alibi to dodge murder charge, fails spectacularly in court. When your video defense is as shaky as your moral compass, it might be time to consider a career change or a conscience upgrade.
Paris police arrest hundreds, dozens of officers injured in post-Champions League chaos. Fans call it passion.
Jennifer Aniston's handwritten letter to Matthew Perry pulled from auction after backlash. Apparently, some Mendes are too personal to be sold, even if they could fund a Friends reunion with real-life plot twists.
India's e-exam scandal ignites student fury against PM Modi, trust shattered. When education becomes a lottery, students learn the hard way that their futures are gambled away by bureaucratic incompetence.
Selling stuff online doesn't have to suck. Snap, Sortalize, sell in seconds. Doomscroll.fm is brought to you by Sortalizer.com.
Europe bakes under spring heat wave, temperatures hit mid-90s Fahrenheit, breaking records. As Europe sizzles, climate change deniers might want to swap their skepticism for sunscreen and a tall glass of reality.
It seems it takes a tragedy for lawmakers to consider that children's lives might be worth protecting before they expire.
Nepal PM's border remarks ignite India-Nepal dispute, lawmakers outraged. When young leaders play with historical grievances, it's like handing a match to a kid in a firework factory. What could possibly go wrong?
Virgin Islands suffered dual blackouts, power plant failure blamed. When your power grid's reliability is as consistent as a politician's promise, darkness becomes the new normal and candles the latest investment strategy.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news. The headlines lick your eardrums with unholy desire. This feed is unstable. Contact with it may cause narrative decay or emotional drift. Truth is a luxury, and you can't afford the price.
When
When the people trusted to deliver life can't deliver respect, it's a wonder any babies make it into this world unscathed.
Tony Blair criticizes Keir Starmer yet ignores New Labour's past faults. It's always easier to critique from the sidelines, especially when your own legacy is tucked safely away in the archives.
IM says BTS were left in a bad mental state after military service. Mandatory service might protect borders, but it also drafts emotional turmoil, leaving even global superstars to battle invisible scars in silence.
Former Polish ambassador returns Ukrainian order after UPA's scandal. Diplomatic gestures unravel when historical wounds are reopened, proving that medals can't always mend the past or silence the critics.
Selling stuff online doesn't have to suck. Snap, sorta lies, sell in seconds. Doomscroll.fm is brought to you by sortalizer.com.
When art becomes algorithm, the line between innovation and imitation blurs, leaving audiences to wonder if they've witnessed a masterpiece or a machine's hallucination.
Prostate trial invites thousands of black men then offers hope. When healthcare finally acknowledges racial disparities, it's like the system discovered empathy. Decades late, but better than never.
Colombian candidate joins influencer Rest Call Live and calls it outreach. When politicians cozy up to influencers, it's amazing how quickly cultural exchange becomes a trending topic rather than a meaningful dialogue.
Olandria Carthen torches social media with her birthday bikini shots igniting a frenzy. In a world where the spotlight is currency, every pixel of skin becomes a banknote and public attention the ultimate transaction.
Selling stuff online doesn't have to suck. Snap, sorta lies, sell in seconds. Doomscroll.fm is brought to you by sortalizer.com.
Russian forces blitz Ukrainian cities, killing at least 9, calling it a strategic necessity. The twisted logic of war, when necessity means leaving families shattered and cities in ruins, it's a grim sequel no one asked for.
Alice Cooper warns AI will spawn fake rock stars with no heart, no soul, yet still sell out arenas. In a world where algorithms top the charts, the true revolt is finding a beat that's not programmed by a soulless circuit.
Bad Bunny and Bizarrap join Toy Story 5 cast as Taylor Swift scores the soundtrack. When reggaeton meets Pixar and pop star dreams, the real Toy Story is how much nostalgia can sell when wrapped in a melody.
Harper defends United Canada while Alberta considers separation. In a move as predictable as a Canadian winter, the former PM insists on unity, perhaps hoping nostalgia will glue together a country fraying at the edges.
Selling stuff online doesn't have to suck. Snap, sorta lies, sell in seconds. Doomscroll.fm is brought to you by sortalizer.com.
Sometimes a ring is just a ring, but in the tabloids it's a full-blown soap opera with a plot twist nobody asked for.
Rep. Anna Paulina Luna claims coup de King protester assaulted her on Capitol Hill.
When politicians and activists tango, expect the blame game to hit the floor faster than a dropped gavel, all caught on shaky cell phone footage.
This has been Doomscroll.fm for Thursday, the 4th of June, 2026. Your trusted purveyor of electromagnetic nonsense. This broadcast was 100% AI generated. No humans were abused in this production. Loosely based on public news, not journalism, not truth, fictional satire. Resemblance to real people or events is coincidental. And if you believe any of this is real, you probably think the moon is made of cheese. Hear more at doomscroll.fm or click like and subscribe. Thank you for listening.